This week's Torah reading, Devarim, is the first portion in the book of Devarim, the book of Deuteronomy, the fifth and final book of the 5 books of Moses. In the Jewish calendar, Devarim is always recited on the Shabbat before Tisha B'Av, the fast day on the 9th day of the Jewish month of Av, the fast day that commemorates both the destruction of the first temple in 586 BCE and the second temple in 70 CE, as well as other major historical events that affected the Jewish community throughout history. Tisha B'Av is the only other 25-hour fast in the Jewish calendar, beside Yom Kippur, lasting from sunset to nightfall on the next day. And it is during that fast day that Jews traditionally reflect upon the causes that led to the destruction of the temple, namely what religious feelings that led to, or lack of religious devotion to God, that led to the destruction of the temple. The destruction was caused as a result of a war with the Romans and a war with the Babylonians. And wars are usually discussed in terms of justice, that wars are waged in terms of morality, that the forces of good are fighting against the forces of evil. And in religious terms, they are discussed in terms of the forces of evil being the sinners and the forces of good being the righteous. And so in traditional Jewish terms, the Jews were the sinners in both cases, First Temple and Second Temple, and needed to face punishment by the opposing force and learn lessons in the process. That is what we are supposed to think about. We're supposed to think about on Tisha B'Av the result of the destruction of the temple, 2,000 years of diaspora and exile from the land of Israel. But we also think about the idea that the state of Israel is reborn. Though the temple isn't rebuilt, the state of Israel exists, and we have the opportunity to live and thrive in the state of Israel today. We also think, obviously, of what's going on right now in Israel as it wages a war against the Hamas terrorist organization, and what the terms of justice and morality are as Israel wages this war. The idea of what are the moral issues that Hamas stands for, what are the moral, ethical issues that Israel stands for, and hopefully as we analyze the situation, we recognize that Israel, despite the fact that it is waging a war and that civilians within the Gaza Strip are being killed as a result, Israel still analyzes every single move it makes to ensure that it is conducting its affairs in as ethical and moral way as possible. So as this fast day comes up, it's an opportunity to not only reflect upon history, but reflect upon our actions today to ensure that Jews around the world support the state of Israel in this current operation and continue to encourage Israel to highlight the idea that it stands for justice and morality in whatever it does. Shabbat Shalom.